What's good? This is your boy Internal Sadist, and this podcast is going to be about virtue signaling parents. These are typically women who want praise for something that they're supposed to do in life. If you actually choose the path that you actually choose to be a parent, it's actually your job to actually just be a parent. You don't get to you don't get to be celebrated and or admired for being something that you already are. That'd be like me. That'd be like me saying I should be admired for being black. No, don't work like that. If you're a parent, you're a parent. You chose to be a parent. You got to be a parent. You don't get praise for being a parent. It's your fucking job. You chose it. That's typically how a lot of that shit works. And the sad part about that is we live in a society where people get to pick and choose that they get treated as such for no damn reason whatsoever. Like very sad once you think about it. It's like very sad. Why are we praising you for some shit that you should be doing any damn way? Why are we praising you for that shit? Like think about that shit. Like really think about that shit. We're going to praise you for some shit very that you should. Once you think about it, it's like very sad. We're going to praise you for some shit that you're supposed to do. Why? The sad part about that is a lot of people get caught up in this, and this is not the only version of virtue signaling parenting. When in fact, a lot of people do it for a lot of different reasons to gain any and everything that they want in life for all intents and purposes. A good example of virtue signaling parenting is all these actresses who go to Africa who adopt babies and bring them back to America, or the ones that go to China, adopt babies and bring them back to America. They're basically nothing more than virtue signaling parenting for all intents and purposes. They want you to commend them and give them the admiration for going to go adopt the baby. Like, no, that's your choice. You chose to do it. You don't get praise for it. It's just like parenting. You choose to do it. You can either choose to have an abortion or you can choose to keep the baby. Either way, it's your choice and you have to live with that choice. You don't get praise for making either choice. It's your choice. It's typically how it works, which is very sad. And the sad part about that is we live in a society where parenting can be done so half-assed or, so ridiculously that, people think it's okay to be praised for parenting when in fact parenting is a part of your life. But parenting is a part of what you're supposed to do as a human being. Unless you if you choose to do so, that is. It's a part of what you choose to do as a human being. So praising a woman for being a mom isn't isn't really. I'm not going to praise a woman for being a mom when in fact that's what she chose to do. Typically, because at the end of the day, if this is the path that you're going to take, there are repercussions and consequences for your actions. So what you can't tell me is that you deserve a trophy or award for being a mom when in fact you chose to be that mom. You don't get an award for choosing to do something. It's called life. You don't get an award for life. They don't hand out awards for life, for making for life all types of purposes. They don't hand out an award for life. They don't. They don't. That's not how this works. Because if that is the case, every single child that comes out would get an award for being born. Every single child would get an award for being of a certain race. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. So you don't get an award or you don't get praise for doing something that you chose to do. Just like single motherhood. You kind of sort of chose it. And before anybody getting her talking about, well, no, not really. Well, no, you chose it. You chose it. End of story. And the sad part about that is like, it's funny how 1 minute women have women's intuition, but conveniently women's intuition's on vacation that week when they chose a bad person, or your intuition's on vacation every single time they deal with this person that they chose to have a baby with. Like, women's intuition is gone. Like out for lunch or out on vacation or just lunging. And it's typically how it works. And the sad part about that is when we run into a lot of these things and we run into a lot of these people, the problem with these people is you chose the person that you had the child with. It's that simple. You can't be mad about the things that leading up to the incident for where you're at now. Because the sad part about that is what I've noticed about a lot of single mothers, which actually I've always found funny, is single mothers are in that situation for two reasons, two reasons and two reasons only, not including the widows, widowed single mothers for all intents and purposes. But single mothers are in a situation for two reasons: one, a series of bad decisions, or two, just poor choices in life to to pretty much blow up their relationship. And that's typically what it is. Like, I don't really care what you got to say about it. It is what it is. We either made a series of bad decisions, which ends up pretty much being the same damn thing once you think about it, because you kind of sort of blew up your relationship either way. You made a series of bad decisions that pretty much got you into the mess that you're in now. It's typically how it works. So actually, no, now that I think about it, there's only one reason for a mother to be single. There'd be two if I include widowed mothers for all intents and purposes. You know, let's just say you're a widow. Your husband went to work and he had a freak accident on the job and he died. That's a different story. However, if you're a single mother because of a series of bad decisions that you made in your life to fuck up your life to make you a single mother, that's kind of your fault. It's basically your fault. And that's typically how it works with a lot of single mothers, is what I noticed is that they'll do a lot of stupid shit in relationships, then they'll end up single, then they'll be mad at the father, or they'll do a lot of stupid shit, end up single, and be trying to like want to be praised for being a single mother. No, you blew up your own relationship. Therefore, you got to live the consequences for your actions of that. You blowing up the relationship is typically how it works. You can't be like, I'm going to be, you can't be destroying shit, then be like, I don't understand why he doesn't want to stick around. Well, I understand why he doesn't want to stick around. You can't blow up your relationship and then expect the person to stick around. That's not how this shit works. Because the problem with a lot of women is they have this entitlement issue. And the sad part about that, society's put it on them, and a lot of the white knights and cucks actually gave them this entitlement complex that they so wholeheartedly have and want to run around with for all intents and purposes. Because at the end of the day, they help create that entitlement. They help create that who that person is. They help create the stupidity that they have to shit that women get into stupidity from their own series of decisions. But the sad part about that is because they're entitled not to take responsibility for their actions once they get into those messes that they're in. It's like it's not her fault. It's that person's fault. It's not her fault. It's the alcohol's fault. It's not her fault. It's her child's fault. It's not her fault. It's her job's fault. It's not her fault. It's her car's fault. It's not her fault. It's her boss's fault. It's not her fault. It's her coworker's fault. It's not her fault. It's an animal's fault. It's not her fault. It's a fucking, the weather's fault. And that's typically how it works. Like, it's like she can be absolved of all fault by passing it on to any living thing or any inanimate object for all intents and purposes. And it's just shit like this that just blows my mind once you start breaking down a lot of the shit. Like, this is how women feel as though that they're entitled to be praised for doing something that they're supposed to do after they chose to actually do it. Like, you can't sit up here and say, well, I deserve to be praised because I went to school and I got this job. No, you don't get praised for going to school and getting this job. That's your job. You're a grown ass adult. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go to school, better yourself, and get a job to better yourself even more. That's typically how that works. You don't go to school for some stupid shit, then come out of school and then be mad because you can't find a job, or you can't go to school, come out of school, be mad, and not even practice what the fuck you went to school for. I mean, then be like, I got like this degree, so I deserve a man with this degree. If you're not practicing what you preach, you don't deserve shit. Because at the end of the day, entitlement is entitlement, and it doesn't matter what you think you're entitled to. You'll end up with what you deserve for all intents and purposes. Because at the end of the day, what you can't do is be like and this is the thing that I love about virtue signaling parenting. They'll say, well, I deserve a man that's strong and, that will help me raise my children and this, that, and the other. Well, no, you don't deserve anything. You deserve what you get. What you're going to get is what you're not. What you're going to get is not who you want all the time, for all intents and purposes. Because nobody wants to be saddled with debt. Nobody wants to be saddled with your mistakes. Nobody wants to be saddled with your stupid decisions, for all intents and purposes. Because at the end of the day, if you've ever noticed, a lot of these women who do this stupid shit always, always, always think they deserve this great thing when in fact you really don't. You deserve what you get. You deserve what you set your life up for. You deserve the end result of the series of decisions that you made that got you into this mess in the first damn place. That's what you're going to get, and that's what you deserve. You don't deserve anything. You deserve what you actually set your life up to actually get. So if you're going to be a person if you're going to be a single mom, you don't deserve a rich guy. You deserve a person on your level or a person that's willing to deal with your bullshit. That's typically how that works. It's just facts. You may not like it, but it's just straight honesty and straight savagery. Because at the end of the day, you can't sit up here, make poor decisions, make more poor decisions, make some more poor decisions, and expect to get like some grade A, perfect, high value guy when in fact you're not going to get that. Hell, the funny thing about that is, and then women always say, well, I didn't pick that guy because of women's intuition. But then, apparently their women's intuition was off for this guy because now they're getting their ass beat, or now, they're molesting their children, or, they're abusing their children in them. Like, okay, so this guy was dangerous. This guy was more dangerous than the guy you chose. This guy's whooping your ass, your children's ass. He damn near killed you, and he's molesting your children. But women's intuition? How's that work? And it's just stuff like this that just blows my mind when you hear women say this stupid shit like women's intuition. There's no such thing as women's intuition. Women's intuition is basically full of shit. It's nothing more than gut instinct. And the sad part about that is women suck at it so badly. You can't even say they have a gut instinct for all intents and purposes because they suck at it so badly because they make so many bad decisions in a matter of seconds. It's like, dude, can you at least make one good decision in your life? Can you make one good decision in your life? And that's the sad part. Women make a series of bad decisions in a span of seconds, and then want to complain that their life sucks. Like, have you ever heard of foreplanning? Maybe some planning, planning for the future, or what they call it, foreplanning, or whatever the word I'm looking for that. You typically can't do that. Like, if you're going to choose a person, if you're going to have a child with that person, you have to accept the repercussions and consequences for your actions. There's no, oh well, it's all his fault that I'm pregnant. Nope. There's two of you motherfuckers. You chose the motherfucker. You knew the motherfucker wasn't good. Therefore, now you got to deal with the consequences for that motherfucker not being good and you actually just ignoring your instincts. That's typically how that works. Women's intuition, you were ignoring it, which I don't really believe women's intuition even is a thing in the first damn place. Basically, your gut instinct was telling you it was wrong, but you did it anyway, and now you're in this mess. Typically how that works. So no, you can't get praised for being a single mother when you actually chose to be a single mother. It's your fucking fault. You're a single mother. You can't blame nobody else but yourself. Because at the end of the day, there might be two people involved in this shit, but at the end of the day, you're the gatekeeper to sex. And you're the one that's got to worry about the repercussions, the serious ramifications biologically more than a man does. So if you chose to keep it, now you chose to actually take on that responsibility. Therefore, you're not allowed to virtue signal that you're a parent. You're just a fucking parent. Just live on and move on with your bed day. It's typically how it works. Like, you can't sit up here and tell me that, oh, well, I deserve to be praised because I'm a great parent. No, you don't deserve shit. Just do your parenting skills and handle what you need to do and not worried about you being praised or everybody like you because you're a parent. It doesn't work like that. Just be a fucking parent and be the best parent you could possibly be. You don't get praised for being a parent. I don't get praised for being a parent. Cartel Princess doesn't get praised for being a parent. So You don't deserve to be praised for being a parent when, in fact, you're the reason why you're in the mess in the first damn place. You're the reason why you made these serious and bad decisions in the first damn place. It doesn't work like that. You just know it doesn't work like that in the least bit. Because at the end of the day, what you can't tell me or what you can't say to me is, you know, I deserve this. No, you don't deserve shit. You don't deserve shit in the least bit. Only thing that deserves only thing that's deserving is your children deserving to have a great parent. That's it. You don't deserve shit besides your children deserving to have a great parent. So I'm gonna need you to get up off your high horse and actually raise your children to the best of your ability. Because here's a problem that I have with a lot of these people, and like you see this shit quite often, where you like, oh, especially if you go on dating sites. Don't even get me started on the fucking dating sites. These motherfuckers will be on a dating site talking about 7 months pregnant or 3 weeks pregnant or 8 months pregnant or I just had a newborn baby. I'm looking for a guy. Bitch, how about you raise your child? Selfishness much? And it's just shit like this that just blows my mind. Like, no, go raise your children. Your children need you more than you need to go find some damn body in your damn life. Go be a fucking parent. And the sad part about that, what I've noticed about a lot of these people in a lot of these dating profiles is they're basically looking for somebody to take care of them and their children because they don't have the job, they don't have the necessary skills or the necessary job to actually be able to do both for all intents and purposes, to take care of themselves and their child. So they're looking for somebody to come in to subsidize their lifestyle for all intents and purposes. Is all it really is. And it's sad, but it's so true. Like, you mean to tell me you're pregnant with somebody else's child and you're looking for a man to raise your children? Really, ho? Really, ho? Like, come on now. It doesn't work like that. And the sad part about that, it just, what's up, Janky? And the sad part about that, the thing that pisses me off the most about when people do that shit is, first off, what the fuck are you doing on a dating app? First off, let's just clear off this shit real quick first before I continue. What the fuck are you doing on a dating app if you're pregnant? What the fuck are you doing on a dating app if you have a newborn? What the fuck are you doing on a dating app, period? You should be a parent, period. Like, how is that good parenting? You already sucked at it in the first damn place. That's the reason why you're in this fucking mess. Now you're going to go look for somebody else to clean up your mess. Why? Clean up your own fucking mess and own up to your own responsibilities and be a fucking parent. Instead of trying to get everybody to clean up your fucking mess so you can blame somebody else that you're in the predicament that you're in. It's not the guy's fault. It's your fault generally because you're the one that chooses. Because at the end of the day, here's the problem that I have with a lot of these women. Look, it's your body, your choice. You chose to keep the baby. It's your fucking fault you had the baby. Therefore, you have to raise the fucking baby. That's typically how that works. Because we live in this day and age, especially in New York, where you're going to abort a baby after the fucking baby is born. You're going to abort a baby 6 to 7 months in most states. Hell, you can abort a baby anytime you want to. In a lot of these states, and like some states do have some rules where, like, okay, heartbeat, you're done. It's a wrap. You can't kill the baby no more. And typically how it works. So what you can't tell me and sit up here and tell me is you deserve to be praised when you actually made this fucking decision to do this shit. You're not getting praise for making stupid decisions. It doesn't work like that. I will never let it work like that, and I'm never going to let you live it down like that because no, it doesn't work like that. So you don't deserve praise for being something that you're supposed to be. It's a part of your job. That'd be like saying I deserve to have praise because I'm a Christian. No. That's what you chose. You chose to be a Christian, therefore do the Christianly thing and go on about your merry way. And go be a Christian and preach and teach. Same thing goes for Muslims. You don't get praise for being a Muslim, just go be a Muslim. Same thing goes for Jewish people. You don't get praise for being Jewish, just go be Jewish. And preach the word or the gospel. That's typically how this works. Like you don't get praise for a decision a decision that you chose to alter your own damn life. You made that decision. I didn't help you make that decision. You made the decision for yourself. Therefore, you can't be up here crying about, people not giving you recognition or people not, praising you for being a parent when in fact you chose this route. Own up to the decision that you made. What you can't do and what you ain't finna do is sit up here and tell me that you deserve all this great shit when in fact you don't deserve shit, but probably a shit slap to the face. It's just facts. Like, it is what it is. Like, no, you don't get praise for being a parent. You just have to be the fucking parent. There ain't no award for life. They're not handing out awards for life at all, in the least bit. Like, so I'm gonna need all these women to get up off their high horse and stop talking about, well, because I'm a single mom. Well, no, you chose to be a single mom. You really chose to be a single mom. At the end of the day, once you boil it all down to nothing, once you take out all the extra sides of bullshit, you chose to be a single mother. You really chose to be a single mother. And like I said, before any women get up here trying to say, well, no, because I was with this guy and this, that, and the other. Did he say anything about wanting to stick around with you? Did he say anything about wanting to raise a child with you? You chose to be a single mother then, bitch. You chose to be a single mother. Because at the end of the day, it's your body, your choice. Therefore, you have to own up to your responsibility now because you chose that route. That's typically how it works. You chose that route, now own up to it. It's typically how it works. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. If you chose to have children with a deadbeat, or if you chose to have children with an ain't shit motherfucker, it's your fault. It's your fucking fault. Because at the end of the day, all this could have been avoided if you'd have kept your legs closed. What? Because you'll get women that'll say, well, he should have wore a condom or he should have pulled out. You should have kept your legs closed. How about them apples? If you didn't want to put on a condom and you wanted to really wear a condom, you should have probably said no and kept your legs closed. But you didn't. Therefore, now you're in this mess. That's typically how that works. Because at the end of the day, women are the gatekeepers of sex no matter how much you'll like it or not want to admit it. Because at the end of the day, you're the ones that choose to open your legs to a man. And you'll get, I'll hear women always say, you can't be slut shaming or sex shaming. I'm not sex shaming you. It's called common sense. Use it sometimes. Maybe you'll get more shit done in your life if you use more common sense instead of going off of feeling and instinct. Common sense works. Common sense does wonders for people. It's kind of like the dumb motherfuckers in Hollywood that'll go to other countries and adopt children from other countries and then be trying to get praise for adopting a child from another country. No, bitch, you don't get praise for adopting a child from another country. You chose to do that. You signed the paperwork for that. We didn't sign the paperwork with you. You signed the paperwork your fucking self. Now go over there and get the fuck out of my face and go raise your children like you're supposed to. I don't understand how you can even adopt kids when you want to be praised. The sad part about that, the thing that pisses me off the most about this shit is a single woman can adopt a child, no problem. A single man, they'll give them all types of shit for adopting a child. Like, think about that shit. A single man would get all types of shit for adopting a child, but a single woman, hands down, no problem. No questions asked, just give her a child, basically. Like, think about that shit. A single man, he could be a rich single man, but they'll give him shit for wanting to adopt a child. Like, how's that work? She could be a broke-ass single mom. She could be a broke-ass mom, but she want to adopt a child. They'll just give her all the rights to the child, basically. Sign over everything to her because she's a mom. Like, okay, right, that makes sense. That makes a shit ton of sense. Why are you going to release a child to, like, somebody that's not financially stable? Come on now. But you won't release a child to a rich person who actually got some money and got the backing to actually raise the children and make them better human beings in this world. Like, think about that shit. Like, it just blows my mind when it comes down to it. Hell, gay men actually have a harder time adopting children than lesbian women, or a single woman. The sad part about that, if you're a single woman, you can actually adopt a child faster than a gay couple can adopt a child. Like, think about that shit. But women are oppressed. Women are so oppressed. Like, think about that. How are you oppressed when you outrank gay couples for adoption. If you're a single mother, if you're a single person, you outrank gay couples for adoption. Like, that makes no sense to me. I don't understand how this is even a thing. Well, I actually understand how it's a thing because, you know, when you live in a world of unicorns and rainbows and everything is, sunshine and spice and everything nice type shit, you tend to actually get you tend to have convoluted views on how things are supposed to work, especially in a gynocentric society for all intents and purposes. And the funny thing about that is only people really suffering are women and children. Men aren't suffering in the least bit in a gynocentric society. Men aren't really suffering the least bit. It's women and children that are suffering because at the end of the day, you're the ones that have to carry on your life with that child. You're the ones who have to pick and choose what you do with your life for all intents and purposes. You're the ones who have to actually figure out what's going on in your life. And it's typically how it works. Like, you can't know. You can't. It doesn't work like that. Like, what you can't do is sit up here and act like you deserve all this shit when in fact you don't deserve shit at all. It's just facts. So at the end of the day, if you make these decisions to alter your life, you have to own up to these decisions to alter your life. I'm not here to kiss your ass. I don't give a damn how many simps is behind you. I don't care how many cucks or white knights are behind you. I don't give a damn about those people because you got to live up to the decisions that you made that got you in the situation that you're in. Because at the end of the day, like I said, if you're a single mother, 98% of the chance, it's 98% your fucking fault in the first fucking place. It's 98% your fucking fault. It's 98% your fucking fault. Because at the end of the day, what happens if you do get pregnant or when you think you're pregnant is it's your body, your choice now. Therefore, if you choose to keep it, you have to live with the consequences. If you choose to get rid of it, you still have to live with those consequences. Either way, the choice is yours. It's not no man's choice. It's your choice. Because at the end of the day, if a woman wants to get an abortion but a man wants to keep it, she can just go out and get an abortion, and he has no choice in the matter. That's typically how that works. So at the end of the day, her body, her choice. Therefore, if she keeps it, she should have to deal with the consequences of her actions. That's typically how that works. That is really how that works. If you want the responsibility, you have to take the consequences and all the fallout from that choice that you made. You don't get to run around here talking about, yay me. No, that's not how this works. That's not how this works in the least bit. And the sad part about that is women find out very quickly when they make stupid decisions that screwed them over. They found out later down the line that it hurts and life's hard. And, maybe it wasn't the best idea. And the sad part about that, a woman would never admit to any mistakes that she actually made in the relationship. She would always blame the guy for all the mistakes being made in the relationship when in fact she's probably, no, matter of fact, fuck that. 10 out of 10 times, she's the reason why the relationship blew up in the first damn place. Because the sad part about women don't make proper decisions based on logic and or for long-term gain. They make decisions on short-term gain. That's typically how that works. They only make decisions on short-term gain because women can't think that far ahead to maybe possibly try to set themselves up for a better life in the future. They just want immediate gratification. And that's typically how women think. They want immediate gratification. Hence why they're always virtue signaling that they're single moms or single parents, because that's instant gratification for them. People, oh, you're so brave. You're so great. No, you're not great. You made a dumb mistake. You made the stupidest decision in your life, and now you got to live with it. I'm not saying your children are a dumb decision. I'm just saying the person you chose to have a children with was your dumbest decision in your whole entire life. Therefore, now you got to live with your dumbest decision in your whole entire life. Simply how that works. I'm not blaming him. I'm blaming you for making a dumb decision. Just like it is what it is. Like, no, you don't get away scot-free with me. If you have children, raise your children. If you have children, don't sit up here and blame the father for some shit that you're mad about. You had the children. You got to live with the children. You got to raise the children. It's your responsibility now. That's typically how that works. But, we live in a world where women don't have to take responsibility, like I said, for their actions. And, they get off scot free, or they want to live in a world of instant gratification for every single thing they do for all intents and purposes, but then they don't want to take responsibility for the fallout, or they don't want to they don't want to take up the consequences to their actions. It's kind of like what I was talking about, my one friend who got multiple abortions. Then now she wants to try to have children, and now she can't have children, and now she can't take responsibility and actually take in consideration maybe that having that many abortions that you had probably hindered your chance of actually having children. No, she just goes, why does life always do this to me? Or, you know, what did I do wrong for me not to want to be able to have children? That's typically what she says for the most part. What did I do wrong for me not to be able to have children? Or why is life doing me like this? I would love to be a mom. You should have probably thought about that several abortions ago when you were destroying your body. You should have probably thought about that a long time ago when you were doing all this destruction to your body, for all intents and purposes. And it's typically what it is. It's like, it's your fault. It's your fault. Unfortunately, women don't like to take that responsibility, nor do they like to want to have to live up to the expectations or responsibilities of their actions. Typically, is how it works. It's sad, but it's so true. It's the reality of the day. And the sad part about that is we sit up here and pretend like, we sit up here and pretend like, everything is great when everything is not great in the least bit. But the sad part about that is these are decisions that women make in their lives that alter their lives greatly or massively or catastrophically, but you want praise for making these decisions. You don't get praise for making these decisions. Just like I don't get praise for waking up in the morning. I don't get praise for not wanting to commit suicide. I don't get praise for, for because I ate breakfast this morning. I don't get praise for because I drank juice. I don't get praise because I felt some type of way, so I took myself to the hospital. It's just life. It's what you're supposed to do to sustain yourself and your body and whatever the hell else you got going on. You don't get praise for something you're supposed to do as a human being. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, if you save somebody's life, then yeah, you can get some praise. But if you're just raising a child, it's your fucking job. Get over it and shut the fuck up. That's typically how I feel about this. Get over it and shut the fuck up. You don't get praise for something you're supposed to do. You don't get praise for a series of decisions that got you in this mess that you're in. Because at the end of the day, if you come to me with some shit like that, I'm be like, so what happened? And how did you get here exactly? So you made a bunch of bad decisions. Got it. Well, no, it was this guy. No, you made a bunch of bad decisions. Got it. Well, this guy. Well, this. No, you made a bunch of bad decisions. Got it. End of story. You don't get to try to explain to me on why or you believe it's not your fault. It's your fucking fault. You chose this path. Now you got to live with this path. You chose this route. Now you got to live with that route, and you got to live up to these consequences or repercussions of choosing this route. You don't get the virtue signal that you're a great parent when in fact you're not a great parent. You don't get the virtue signal that you're a single mom when in fact it's your fault that you are a single mom. It's your fucking fault. Like, live up to it. That's typically how I feel about it. And it's sad, but it's so true. Like, you can't be sitting up here telling me that this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other. No. That's not how any of this works. You make the decisions. You got to live with decisions, just like a man. If a man chooses to, instead of hitting the safety button to saw his arm off at work, he's got to live with not having an arm. That's typically how that works. So when you make a decision that alters your life, you have to live with that decision that alters your life. That's how this works. It's called life. You don't get praise for For you're not brave. It's not you being brave. It's you being stupid at the end of the day, because you don't get sympathy for making stupid decisions. It doesn't work like that. So yeah, and then if you're going to go adopt babies in another country, you don't get praise for it. It's your decision. You chose to adopt these babies. Nobody asked you to adopt these babies but yourself. You chose it. Now you got to live with the. Now you got to live with the decisions that you make. You don't get praise for adopting a baby from another country. You don't get praise for adopting an African baby. You don't get praise for adopting a Chinese baby, or anything like that. You just don't get praise for that shit. You got to live with that. You got to live with that shit now. So yeah, that's typically how I feel about the whole entire thing. And the sad part about that is quite frankly bullshit that people get to want to be celebrated for decisions that they made in life. Like it's one thing if you chose to be a fucking NBA star, or if you chose to be like an Olympic Olympic contestant for the most part, and you actually win the Olympics. Now you deserve praise because now you actually put in some actual work. Because you put in the work and dedication to actually being that star athlete or that top echelon athlete. Half you motherfuckers that want praise are the worst moms out of all the moms raising children for all intents and purposes. Because the sad part of what I noticed about a lot of those parents who are raising children who want praise, they're the worst of all the parents. They're the worst parents of all parents. And that's typically what I've noticed about a lot of these women who always want praise for being a single mother. They end up being the worst of all single mothers. You end up being the worst parents of all parents. It's typically how that works. But, you do you and be blessed. But that's going to end this podcast. Y'all have a good one. Be blessed. See y'all later. And be good to yourselves. Happy Saturday. Happy Red Shirt Day. Happy Red Pill Awareness Day. Y'all be blessed and be good.